Good morning, my friend, and welcome to a new video, which is rather an update of the deck that I did before. We're talking about the burner deck, and we are, yeah, looking through it. It's an updated version. I've changed up some things, I've spiced up some things, added some new cards, and in general, the deck is really, really strong right now. I'm winning against Voiceless Voice, I'm winning against Fire King, I have no problems against Baron de Fleur. Um, the only thing that is problematic is stuff that shuffles stuff from your deck into your graveyard, or in the banished zone. Like runics are still a problem, um, and stuff like T elements are also an issue because they put their cards from your deck into your graveyard. But as long as stuff like that does not happen, you are pretty good to go. And also the deck is pretty fast, so a lot of the games that I've been playing are very fast paced, and yeah, I want to go through the deck. I am going through the deck really quick. Um, for the people that have TikTok ADHD, that's fine. I have to. Um, I have the same condition, so I'll just get through the decks really, really quick, and after that, I'll explain the cards in details, and then I will also talk about the side deck and what to side and like what to take out. And I think after that, that's it for the video. Um, be sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to like this video, and write down in the comment if you, for example, want to see like some remote duels with this or some online duels, or if you want me to do some test hands against myself. Please let me know in the comment what you think of it. But let's start now. Um, we run 3 times Lord of Heavenly Prison. We run 3 Lava Golem, 1 Mahama the Fairy Dragon, 2 Absolute King Backjack, and 3 Battle Fader as 12 monsters. Then we have 1 Day of Peace, 1 Chain Strike, 2 Pot of Extravagance, 2 Pot of Duality, and 2 Pot of Prosperity. 3 Accumulated Fortune, 2 Threatening Roar, 1 Dimension Wall, 1 Gravedigger's Trap Hole, 2 Just Desserts, 1 Jar of Greed, 1 Ring of Destruction, 3 Reckless Greed, 2 Secret Blast, 1 Legacy of Jadagarazu, 1 Vapogo, and 2 Ceasefire. This is the main deck, and the extra deck is 2 times um, Super. I don't know how it's called. I think it's Gustav. I'll just call it Gustav Max. Everyone knows what he does. 3 times Sorcerer of the Sabak. Um, 2 times Nightmare Phoenix. 2 times Nightmare Cerberus. 3 Linkuribo. And 3 Relinquished Anima. The side deck, 3 tokens. Who knows what they're all for? 3 times. This is a Winch Dragon of Ra Sphere mode. This is not Gameciel. This is, I'll show it on the top left, top right. It's Koikara, God Incarnation. 3 times Burning Draw. 3 times Cosmic Cyclone. 2 more Gravedigger's Trap Hole, and 1 Oyama Trio. That's the deck. And now I'll show obviously the more detailed versions of this. So let me sort the cards back like they were. But yeah, I've talked about that I play 12 monsters. I play 8 spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 20 traps. So this is a ratio, 12, 28, that you'll see again in a very different I'm gonna show it really quick because yeah, 3 Lord of Heavenly Prison. What he does is essentially you can show him up in your hand to the enemy, you can reveal it, and as long as he's revealed, set cards cannot be destroyed. And if a set card is being activated while this card is being shown or revealed to the opponent, you can special summon him, which is, by the way, a 3000 body, which is completely crazy. And on top of that, he can set a trap or a spell directly from the deck. It has to be banished in the next turn, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, this card is essentially, I want to talk about ratios in this in this small portion of the video, and the reason why he's being put here and Lava Golem put here is because Lava Golem, as you all know, I don't have to explain the card to you, it's a very old card and very known card. It is a burn effect, and Lord of Hamley Prison is more or less a it gets stuff out of the deck, so it's more or less a deck thinner. That's how I want to treat it. And then we have one Mahama the Fairy Dragon, also one of the newer additions. What Mahama the Fairy Dragon does is during the opponent turn, if a if either player get battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do so, you can either get the amount of LP in the amount of battle damage, or you can get your opponent more battle damage. So how this works, or like the combo that sometimes comes up, is Dimension Wall and Mahama the Fairy Dragon. So how Dimension Wall works, for those that don't know, you can only activate this card if an enemy monster declares an attack. Instead of you, the opponent gets the battle damage. So the opponent gets battle damage in his turn, and then the card goes to the graveyard. But because either player got battle damage, you can special summon Mahama the Fairy Dragon and give your opponent the same amount of battle damage again. This sometimes is already enough for an OTK, by the way. So that's really really fun. Anyways, let's go by order. Mahama the Fairy Dragon, because he special summoned it himself, obviously he can be used for burn, but if he's being special summoned, he acts as a body on the field, and he has 2,500 defense, so he's a pretty strong body. It's a good stall for one turn, and some monsters just can't get over it, and the enemy has to summon some other bullshit. Next up we have two Absolute King Blackjack. What this card does is, if it gets put on the graveyard, either by tributing or link summoning or getting destroyed by the enemy, everything works. As long as you get to the graveyard, that's very important. You can mill the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in any order you want. So in this case, we would get Ceasefire first, another Ceasefire, and then Waboku, right? But now we can say Waboku goes on the top. So the top card would be Waboku. So that's nice. It's essentially a pot of duality, except that we can't draw, obviously. But in the enemy turn, and this is a quick effect, so you can use it whenever. In the enemy turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard and look at the top card of your deck. And if it's a trap, you can set it directly and activate it in the same turn. So essentially, it's also deck thinning, which I really like about this card. So he's being put there for a reason. Next up, 3 Battle Fader. I think this is pretty obviously we want to try to extend, and no one expects this card anymore. Actually, like people don't have like an answer to this, except maybe sometimes a Baron de Fleur. But that's like totally fine. You know, this card is really strong. Because no one really has an answer to that in most decks. They cannot negate monster effects from the hand, which is like what this guy does. So yeah, he's obviously for stall purposes, so he's being put there. Then we have 1 Day of Peace, which is 1 draw. Very simple, and you don't get damage, and like neither player get damage till the enemy next turn. 1 Chain Strike. I think this card is very self-explanatory. Per chain, you deal 400 damage. Very strong in the burn deck. We play now. I have a really funny ratio here. I'll have to explain that really quick before moving on. We play 2 Extravagant, 2 Duality, and 2 Prosperities. The reason for the 2-2-2 is essentially when I played 3 Extravagant and 3 Duality, my hand kind of breaks sometimes because I drew Lava Golem on top of that. And if I have Lava Golem in the hand a pot of Duality, I can only use 1. Because if you activate Duality, you cannot special summon, and Lava Golem counts as special summon. But if you also activate Lava Golem first, and then you somehow draw into Duality, you cannot use it in the same turn. So it kind of breaks on your hand. And if you have 3 on your hand, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes you have hands where you have a Lava Golem and 2 Duality, and there's nothing really you can do. You know, it sucks. So I've cut this down to 2. Um, but then I had like 1 pot less, and I was like, you know, playing Master Duel. The people who watched my stream, they saw that I played a little bit of Master Duel, and in Master Duel you can only have 1 of each pot here. So I was like, okay, I can't play 3 extravagant. What the fuck is this? So I could only play 1 extravagant and 1 duality. So I was like, okay, there has to be more pots. And then I tried Pot of Prosperity, and it actually works pretty well with this deck, except that you only draw 1, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. Um, and then I try to skim around with it a little bit, and it actually is insane. Like, extravagance, you always want to see it, um, but prosperity is really strong in some situations too. So I've been playing I would say a rather weird package of two extravagance, two duality, and two prosperity, and it worked perfect for me. It might not work perfect for you, but you just have to see for yourself if you play like this deck. Um, but yeah, all of these cards are obviously draw, and your combo is basically to activate Pot of Extravagance or Pot of Prosperity into Duality, because after those two you cannot draw anymore, but Duality does not draw, it add to hand. So yeah. 3 times accumulated fortune on chain 4 or higher. If no card has the same name, you can activate um, this for a Pot of Greed, essentially. It's a +2. Draw 2, obviously. Then we have 2 times Threatening Roar. 1 time Dimension Wall, so Threatening Roar doesn't let the enemy attack, which is very important because it does not restrict your monster. So even if your enemy has a monster that has infinite ATK, um, and hasn't affected like unaffected by everything, unaffected by your mom's weight or something, it doesn't matter because he cannot attack because this is not on the monster, this is on the player. The player cannot declare an attack, which is very important. Um, one Gravedigger's Trap Hole, very important card in some scenarios. I only have it once, but I think the amount of people that use stuff in the graveyard or in the banished zone or from the hand is like astronomically high. And drawing this third doesn't even hurt because a lot of people have hand traps like Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, um, or Ghost Bill, for example, which is not really used in this deck except for Backjack. And sometimes I've used this against Ghost Bill even, and it feels strong. And for it's a new card, so for those that don't know, if your enemy activates the monster effect from his hand or from his graveyard or from his banished card, you can negate it and then your enemy gains 2000 damage. Like you just deal 2000 damage to him. Like it's crazy. This card is crazy. Obviously in the right scenario. So sometimes you have it and it's like there and you're like activate effect please. But they don't really do anything. Though that kinda can suck, but that's why I only have it once. Um, but as you can see, it's in the side deck. It's 2 times in the side deck, for simple reason that if your enemy plays a deck that just heavily relies on the graveyard or in the banished zone or from the hand, like danger, every danger, like deck that works with a danger engine, you put this 3 times in. Like the thing is he can activate the danger card. This is not once per turn. He can activate the danger thing and get negated, and then he can activate it again. You know, enough another 2k damage. It's really crazy. Um, one Jar of Greed, draw one. Um, very simple. I've skipped Just Dessert because I think everyone knows what it does. Like 500 damage per every month that the enemy controls. Very simple. One Ring of Destruction. You can target an enemy monster that has like 80k, same or higher, lower SSLP. Destroy it. You get the damage. You get the damage. Very nice card. Then 3 times Reckless Greed. I'll put the Legacy of Yadagarazu before, so we are not running into space issues. Um, yeah, one Jar of Greed, one Yadagarazu. Reason being, we want more draw, but we don't want too much draw. Like drawing 2 Jar of Greed just sucks, you know. Um, but we want more targets for accumulate fortune. So yeah. Um, Reckless Greed, draw 2. Skip your next 2 draw phases. This sounds bad at first, but it not doesn't really matter because you kind of decide when you activate it, and once you kind of decide when you activate, it's over for the enemy anyways. Because you can like set it with Heavenly Prison stuff like that. It really does not matter too much. Um, to Secret Blast, very funny card. If it gets destroyed, the enemy gets 1k damage for free. I've had this sometime twice on the field. The enemy Harpian Feather Dusters me, and I am like, okay, bro, I'll activate um just a third into no, Ring of Destruction into just a third into Ceasefire, and then 2 of these, and it's just OTK because if he Harpian Feather does it, it's just one shot. Um, one Waboku. You realize that I play a ratio of 2 Threatening Roar, one Waboku. I've tried to up on the Waboku, but I don't really have a card that I can use for that. I need all of that. Waboku, yeah, the your monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and you get no battle damage, so that's like also nice. But the problem is the enemy monster can still attack, which is why sometimes I'm really thinking about 3 Threatening Roar. But I've had it a couple of times that I could use Threatening Roar and Waboku, for accumulated fortune. So I really want to have like different names in like terms of trap cards. This is also why I run 2 ceasefire and 2 just desserts. But yeah, ceasefire. You gotta be careful sometimes with ceasefire because it only works on effect monsters. And we do not mean like literal effect monster like this one. But what meant with that is that it says like effect. So this is very important. But if it's like a monster that's like a normal monster or something, um, then it doesn't work obviously. So you gotta be careful with ceasefire. Anyways, remember 12 monsters, 8 spells, and 20 traps. This was our ratio, right? And look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stall cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 burn cards. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 draw cards. So as you can see, I've established some kind of ratio here that works absolutely phenomenal. um, I am getting one of the most insane draws. So that is like really nice. Like the ratio is really nice because what this ratio means is in your first 5 cards in your hand, let's pretend that those are the first 5 cards in your hand. Um, and this is the 6th card that you draw because you usually go second. Um, you are getting 2.5 cards are draw cards, 1.5 cards are burn cards, and 1 card is stall card. This is like mathematically correct. um to view it that way, and the card you just draw then is like it can be anything, but obviously sometimes you get like 3 burn, which is like a lot, like in the first turn it's like a little bit much because you'd want to draw into your draw cards first, back it up with 1 stall card, and already tickle that enemy with some damage, and then if he's threatened, he gets like scared, and then he does mistake because if he's already like at 3k HP or something or LP, he does mistakes. um but yeah, that's it about the deck, about the ratios. So that's like what I want to talk about first. So now some questions and maybe wondering why you have this card in your deck, why you have this card in your deck. So Gustav, simple reason. Oh, by the way, the most important cards here is the 3 Linkuribo and the 3 Relinquished Anima. Simply because of Backjack. Because we can summon Backjack and then instantly link him off with Linkuribo or Relinquished Anima. Um, and then you can use Backjack's effect, which is really, 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 really fucking strong. Um, so yeah, this is like for the 2 cards, I'm actually going from behind. That's like better, I think. Um, and um, then you have the, sorry, oh come on, bro, the Nightmare package. The reason being, sometimes you have a card in your hand that you don't need. Sometimes you get like 2 Battle Faders and you're like, okay, I only need 1 because I already have 1 Vabugo, so you're like safe for 3 turns. That's a little bit too much, but you want to get rid of an enemy special summon monster or something. Um, so you can put your, for example, if you have like a Battle Fader already on your field, or Muhammad the Fairy Dragon, or 1 Lord of Heavenly Prison, then because if he's like on the field, he has fulfilled his purpose, he has fulfilled his destiny. We don't need him anymore, and that's how you have to treat him. He's just a body on the field that can do potentially something, but really, um, yeah. If you want to get rid of an enemy special summon monster, get Cerberus, discard 1 card, and then bam. Um, Same for Unicorn. If he has like anti-spell fragment or something, um, or how it's called, this royal card. I don't know how it's called. You know what cards I mean? That negate like trap cards. Just put a Phoenix, that's what they're here for. Um, the Sorcerer of the Sabak, I have him 3 times. Reason being that this card is really funny. I'm going to read it out for you. If this card or a monster that point this card towards put like makes your enemy get battle damage, you can get as much LP as the battle damage this monster did. If any player gets LP, so in this thing, even during the damage step, you can make every player lose 1,000 LP. You can only use this effect of Sorcerer of the Setback once per turn. So how this works, essentially, is you try to bait, like, your opponent doesn't expect you to have any crazy monsters, right? You're not drawing a lot of Heavenly Prison every time. Um, so sometimes it can happen that you summon a lot of Heavenly Prison, and you have like a battle fader on the field already, because he tried to attack you, and then you activate some card, and you have Lord of Heavenly Prison. You draw into a Backjack, you summon Backjack, link Backjack and Battle Fader away to Sorcerer of the Sabak. You put him in a zone that point to a Lord of Heavenly Prison. That guy has 3k at k, by the way. So you just attack an enemy, you make him battle damage, free 1k damage, plus the battle damage on top of that. So that guy has won me some games actually, though I'm not even like bothering. That guy's like crazy funny. Um, and yeah, next up we have the last card, Gustav Max. I've had some couple situations. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I've had some couple situations where I draw so much cards that I have two Lord of Heavenly Prison on the field somehow. Um, and I'm like, okay, bro, this guy's useless anyways, right? So I can just make Gustav get the enemy a free 2k damage. Why the fuck not? So that's like how the side deck works. And now coming to the extra deck, so um this is interesting because let me actually go from the back. I think this is like easier. So Oyama Trio. Wait, let me rearrange the cards. Let me rearrange the cards like I rearranged the enemy guts with this deck. Um, so again, Gamicia is Korihara, right? Um, so Oyama Trio. When do we side it in? When do we need it? So obviously sometimes like we're in a meta right now where people summon a lot of fucking monsters. So except Voiceless Voice, they don't really do that sometimes. So in Voiceless Voice case, you can think about siding in one or your material, but I would like not recommend it. In Voiceless Voice, it's like this is really broken against any meta deck right now. Like Voiceless Voice, Fire King, Snake Eye, even Pure Snake Eye, they all get fucked by this card, like insanely hard. Um, Popular effect in the hand, bam, Gravediggers. Like, it's crazy. Again, Oyama Trio. What do we side in for it? So, in the siding, I have like, you see, I have this ratio. And this ratio has worked out extremely, extremely well for me. So, what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to keep that ratio. So Oyama Trio doesn't really do anything. It's some sort of stall, but it doesn't really do anything. So I'll try to like just get out what I really don't need. So if you feel like the games are really fast paced, then get rid of some draw, because draw is like for the game that are like mediocre long, I guess. So that's when you side in Oyama Trio, when the opponent doesn't summon enough monsters for you to deal damage with Ceasefire and just desserts. Um, I've talked about it already. Um, Gravedigger's Trap Hole, you side it in when when the opponent has like a lot of effect to use on his hand and on his graveyard or banished zone. And it's a burn card, as you can see. So we try to get some burn out. Except if the games are too fast, then you try to get like you can get rid of Waboku, not Waboku. You can get rid of Jar of Greed and Yatagarasu. You can also get rid of one Extravagant and one Duality or one Prosperity, because they kind of break if you get two times in the hand, and that takes like one more turn, and you want to have like something useful, not something that's like dead on your hand. So those are like some kind of card that you can swap out with Gravedigger, and you can always swap out one Heavenly Prison and one Backjack, because drawing into two Backjack sucks really much. Same for two Heavenly Prison, but these cards are just so strong. I like to have them three times in. But yeah, um, if you need this, try to get some burn out. If the games are too fast, get some draw out. Um, and this will be always the same pattern. So if the enemy has like a too fast-paced deck, then just get some draw out, especially one of these pots. Cosmic Cyclone against Runic Fountain, against Fire King Island, against a lot of things actually. Cosmic Cyclone is really, really strong. But as you can see, Cosmic Cyclone is neither a draw, a burn, or a stall card. Um, so you just have to go by gut feeling. What do you need in this game the least? If it's like again a very fast-paced game, get some draw out. You can get one of each pot out for three Cosmic Cyclone, stuff like that. I've been trying to keep this ratio a lot of time, because the stall and burn ratio is really important, because you need these kind of burn cards. You don't want to get rid of them. These are like literally perfect. They feel really good. Um, you can potentially get rid of one Heavenly Prison and one Backjack again, and one Duality or something, or Prosperity. In that sense. So yeah, Cosmic Cyclone, really strong card. So now there's a new card, um, Burning Draw. What the fuck does this? What is it? What does it do? if your enemy controls more cards than you do, which is nearly always the case, um, chose one link monster that he controls. Draw cards as high as the link monster's link rating. You can only activate one burning draw pattern. You can in that case where you have burning draw, you cannot normal special summon except um, fire monsters, which does not matter because your fire monster that you want to summon anyways is lava golem, right? And heavenly prison you don't summon it on the same turn as you activate, so you summon it in the enemy turn mostly. And backjack is the same shit as well. Like you like just summon it. Um, but the problem with backjack is like Mahama the Fairy Dragon, Battle Fader, and Heavenly Prison you do it in the enemy turn. Lava Golem you do it in your turn and it's not blocked by this card. So the only card that's blocked is backjack. So when you put Burning Draw, you wanna obviously get rid of your bricks. So obviously this is a lot of draw. So we can get rid of two backjacks in order to like not brick at all and one prosperity or something. Because it blocks you from drawing. So yeah, but Burning Draw, really funny card. I've been using it online. Not IRL yet, but online, and it's really funny. People don't know what the fuck that card is. They read this card, they have like an Appaloosa on the field, and they're like, "What the fuck? You draw four? That's like double pot of greed." Yeah, it's really funny. Um, Next up we have Koikara. So Koikara is your Baron counter, or the new card, your um Skull Guardian counter. So whenever you activate like a card that doesn't really matter too much, and then Skull Guardian negates it because you don't really want to let it through. Because if this guy gets like advantage, like if you draw Yatagarazu, he's like, okay, I want negate it. Then you're like, okay, Babuku, and he's like, okay, wait, I wanna deal damage to this guy. I will negate it with Skull Guardian. And then it chains 3 into Accumulate Fortune, and he's like, okay, shit, now you can activate this stuff. And then he maybe activate like a Seravis or something on the field to negate something or something. And then you just Koikara with two things. You have 4,500 attack, and he's like, "Yeah, what the fuck, man? Why does this come from?" So yeah, Koikara really nice. What do we get rid of Koikara? At least one Lava Golem, because it depends on how much you want to tie it in. But from my perspective, what happened in most cases where I wanted like Korikara or Sphere Mode is that I kept all three Lava Golem mostly. Sometimes I ditched out one in case of Korikara. Um, but yeah, you kind of want to have more of these that people that like get rid of the tribute enemy monsters. Um, what can you get out? One Heavenly Prison, one Backjack is always one of my beloved ratio because um, when you have backjack or like when you have this count as normal summon, right? And if you lava golem a special summon, you cannot normal summon this turn. So backjack always gets a brick, and the more you have of these, like if I run three sphere mode and three lava golems, I do not run backjack. Um, so yeah, as you can see, there's like some kind of we wanna reduce the amount of bricks in our hand as most as possible. And yeah, that's about the side deck. Um, And yeah, I hope that I could show you some kind of variant of this deck that works really well, because this deck works insanely well. Um, there are some really funny niche tricks you can do against the meta deck, but that's something you have to find out for yourself. Or if you want to see some more videos of this wonderful deck and also want to see it in action, I can do that. Um, just let me know if you want to see that. And until then, I wish you a lot of fun in Yu-Gi-Oh! I wish you a great morning, a great evening, a great afternoon, depending on your time. And until then, I would say see ya till the next video. Goodbye.